Hello, Kiwiers. How are you doing?
Hey, New Zealanders and Aussiers and all the others around town.
What?
We are Renjeaux, and we listen to cool albums.
Yes, we do, Keith. Oh, wait.
And, by the way, I'm Keith.
I am Dale.
And, and we are...
On the other side of the world.
I think I already told you. Yes, everything is upside down. So, Del, what cool upside down album were you listening to today?
In case you didn't know. Split Enz, True Colors.
Yeah. Wait. Oh my God.
What year is this? 1980.
Yeah. 1980, January 1980. Yeah, cusp of the new decade. Reagan had not been elected yet, so it was still President Carter.
Voted in
right?
yet? No.
Yeah.
And it's with these dudes. Split Enz. Malcolm Green, the drummer. Noel Crombie, the percussionist.
Percussion and style stylist. And art and all
and
that.
Later drummer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the next album he was the drummer.
Yep.
Was
he?
Nigel Griggs, the bass player.
Yep.
Neil Finn, the young Neil Finn, guitarist and singer. He handled most of the lead guitars in this too, I found out. Yeah.
Did he?
Eddie Rayner, the keyboardist extraordinaire.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
Fantastic. One of the best keyboard players.
And the founding member of the band, Tim Finn, the older brother of Neil, basically, I would call him still the lead songwriter, the mastermind of the thing, the survivor, I should say, at this point, of this band. As much as they'd been through.
Crowded House, right? Crowded House went on to become a even more popular.
No, but that's
Neil.
Neil went to Crowded House. Tim, they went solo. Yeah,
really?
Neil's in the Crowded House. Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Really? I didn't know that. Oh, I thought it was Tim.
Neil went on to Crowded House.
Oh. So what do you mean he's the survivor then?
Because the years and years before this, and this is their fifth studio album. And they'd been together since 72 and 73. Tim and a guy named Phil Rudd started it. And they went through all kinds of crazy crap and almost disbanded and shut it all down and everything. And then they just got kind of lucky with a few things the last couple years before this. Because they had the other co-founder, Phil Rudd, dropped out, and a lot of other members dropped out, and they brought Neil in to sing and play guitar, and they kind of changed directions a little bit, and they got lucky, and then they kind of took off with this album especially. But they almost totally shut it down before this. Really. I mean, it was almost like, this is our last. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they didn't.
Yeah.
And I think the world is glad they didn't, because my gosh, what a cool album. And I Got You became their biggest smash hit ever.
Yep.
Right? And then this album is their most popular album. So
why don't we
go ahead and get started? Yeah.
Now this is actually Neil's song.
Such a cool song. Right.
And this is one of his first he really kind of wrote.
I got you.
Such a cool song.
That's all I want.
I don't remember actually the first time I heard it, but I remember the first time I heard it, my ears perked up and I was like, what's that?
I don't go out. Now that you're in, sometimes we shout, but that's no problem. I don't know why sometimes I get frightened. You can see my eyes, you can reassure me. Tell me you're not teasing. I don't know why sometimes I get frightened.
Great chorus.
See my eyes, tell that I'm not
harmonies.
lying. I don't know why sometimes I get frightened. You can see my eyes, you tell me you're not lying.
Keyboard. Such a cool sound. They took this part of the song from a song they wrote 4 years earlier. I guess they never recorded.
There's no doubt, not when I'm with you. When I'm without, I stay in my room. Where do you go? I get no answers.
So untrusting of this girl.
Always out. It gets on my nerves. I don't know why sometimes I get frightened. You can see my eyes and tell that I'm not lying. But I don't know why sometimes I get frightened.
Love the way it goes up right there.
See my eyes, you tell me you're not lying. I don't know why sometimes I get
Such a great melody,
frightened.
man. I mean, just every part of that song is catchy.
See my eyes,
I mean, the three parts, the verse, the chorus, that bridge section, they're all catchy.
So
And
we're listening
this
to
is-
the U.S. version of this album,
Right.
And that's the first track that that
Right.
we knew of. Like boom, boom, boom. It opens with that. I guess
Yeah.
the Australian and the UK release of Shark Attack was the first
Right.
track, and I got you. I was surprised.
Yeah.
It reached 53 in U.S. Of course, number 1 in Australia, New Zealand, 13 in Canada, 12 in UK. I was actually thought it was higher in U.S., but maybe not. And it seemed like I heard that song more later on. It's like it had staying power.
Right. Well, I know that this album, let's see, this
Re-releases.
1980.
Yeah.
Well, 1980, Pink Floyd The Wall
Oh,
was the number one album in every country. Where is that here? That there was 2 countries in which Pink Floyd The Wall did not hit number 1, and that was Australia and New Zealand, because this album was number 1 during that stretch.
wow.
yeah.
I didn't know that.
In Australia and New Zealand.
Oh, in
Okay.
Australia. New Zealand. Okay. No, I get that. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So every other country in the world, Pink Floyd, The Wall,
Yeah.
did hit number
Right,
1.
right.
Yeah.
No, this is the banner. This is New Zealand band. This is a banner for New Zealand type of band. This is like
Yeah.
this is like the
This
the
is like
national
their biggest export.
the national band of
The national band of New
In fact,
Zealand. Exactly. yeah.
in fact, I didn't know. I was stupid. I thought they were from Australia, and they made it a
Right.
mission to say that no, they are not from Australia.
We are Kiwi. We are not Aussies.
yeah. So
Yes.
So that's kind of the
Yeah.
way. But so I Got You is written by Neil, and so you said they used a section in there from previous, which kind of makes sense the way that is. But yeah, Neil was like, he'd been with the band for 2 years. I said Phil Rudd. It's like the guy's name is Phil Judd. He took Phil Judd's place, who was the co-founder. And Phil Judd and Tim they were best friends, and then after a while they just had a big. Phil couldn't handle. They were traveling all the time, touring all the time, and Phil didn't want to deal with it. Him and Mike Chun, who was the original member, had the same issues. Like they just didn't like the touring. They couldn't handle the whole thing and all that stuff. And Tim's like a workaholic, man. from what I can tell, reading about the way this band was, he was just constantly like, just whatever it takes, and nothing's going to get me down. We're just keep doing it. And if you watch some of the live stuff, have you seen any of the live stuff? He is like a front man du jour. He is so active. He is moving around so much. He's got so much going on. Most of the time, he does play guitar, but most of the time, especially on songs he's singing, he's pretty much just holding the mic and running around and just, but the band is so tight too. That was another thing about this album coming out. It's like they said that they'd been playing live so much, they just became so freaking tight. And it was just, just this time, and so it was like they felt this was if this wasn't going to do it, then nothing was going to do it, type of thing. So
and they felt really good about as you're saying, they've been playing together for daily, nightly, I guess, for a couple of years, and they felt really good when they went into the studio to record this album. It's just like, they'd had a successful tour before this, and they came back to Melbourne, Australia, where they were living, and recorded at what was the studio? Armstrong Studios in Melbourne. They handpicked this guy David Tickle
because they had worked with him in UK before. They had done. He had engineered Dysteria. Okay. Yeah, he'd engineered that. Yeah. And
one of their
but they took
albums.
him aside and did all these demo songs together in UK, and just at an 8-track studio. And he engineered that, and they liked working with him really well. So they brought him over to Australia to do this.
Tickle is an English guy. Then.
Tickle's English
or British or something. Yeah.
And he was only 18 when they first worked with him. And now during this album, he's like 20. So he's a real young guy.
Veteran.
Yeah. In fact, if we're gonna talk about him, then he worked in Startling Studios, which is Ringo Starr's studio.
Oh.
That he had bought from John Lennon.
Oh.
And so he worked with Ringo.
Okay.
That was all in John Lennon's old house.
They have the Beatles kind of super creativity, thinking outside the box kind of stuff going on.
Well, they were actually recorded Frenzy at Startling.
Okay.
And he engineered the song I See Red. That was the main breakthrough with them, with him.
Right. The previous record. Okay.
Oh yeah. So anyway, he went on to. That guy went on. He's mixing an album we'll be doing in the future. He makes Heart of Glass. I'll put it that way. He mixed My Sharona.
Yeah.
He mixed Exiles. Kiss You All.
Exile. That's right. Yes. Yeah. And over again.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
cool.
They said his production kind of, when he worked on True Colors, I don't know if you've heard some of the earlier stuff. It's pretty out there and frantic and all that stuff, and he made it like I Got You said, let's calm this all down. In fact, that was his whole idea about bringing the verses down. And so, make this simpler.
Nice.
Give room
Dynamics.
for the guitars. Give room for everything. Make the drums a little bit simpler, just so that you give room for it.
You got some contrast between, so you got some place to grow from. Yeah, that's such a wise, for a young person, it's a wise insight that,
Right.
don't just play loud all the time.
Right.